The Congressional Budget Office, nonpartisan, came out with a study last week. It says 2.5 million fewer Americans will choose to work, or they'll work less because of Obamacare, the Affordable Care Act. The White House is saying this, in some respects, is a good thing because it's about freedom. It gives people the chance to not have to stay in a job that they don't like or feel unfulfilled in. They could go out, become entrepreneurs, and it's about freedom. It's about liberty, stuff you believe in.
Yeah, I find this an amazing argument. It's really adding to the poverty trap. So if you look at what the CBO said, and I just had a hearing on this, what they're saying is disproportionately low-income people will work less and will choose not to go into the workforce. What they're basically saying is people will stay more poor as a result of this law, and the economy will grow slower, producing fewer opportunities for people as a result of this law. And to suggest that not working is like a good expression of freedom, work is how people get dignity in their lives. Work is how people get on the ladder of life. Work is how people get themselves out of poverty, get themselves into a life of fulfillment and making a life better for your family and your kids. There's dignity in work. And if we pass all these laws, like this healthcare law, that diminishes the value of work, that disincentivize people from going to work, not only is that bad for the person we're talking about because they don't reach their potential and they don't make their kids better off, but the economy suffers as a result. That's not expression of freedom. That's turning us more into a welfare state.
Rob Zurbahn, who may be your opponent again come November, dropped off a petition with about 40,000 signatures on it saying, we want the minimum wage raised. You're an opponent of that. Wouldn't it help address poverty to some degree?
Actually, no,
to
I think it would be
people...
counterproductive.
Why do you say that?
Yeah, it would be counterproductive because, like I was just saying before, the real secret to fighting poverty is getting people their jobs, getting people to work. And when you raise the minimum wage, you actually lose jobs at the low end.
But that's not settled social science.
No, it's settled economics. It's settled economics.
But you can find a group, I could cite you back in January, a group of 70 economists come out, some of them are Nobel laureates, who say just the opposite, who say that in fact...
Okay, well, let me make the case then just straight.
Okay.
When you raise the minimum wage artificially, you raise the price of labor. And for entry-level jobs, you're making them more expensive to be provided, so fewer entry-level jobs get provided. I'm not saying we want people to stay in an entry-level job. We want people to enter the workforce to learn the skills of working so they can work their way up. And when you raise the minimum wage, the very people that we're worried about, minors, young people, people in the inner cities, minorities, they're the ones who are getting hurt the most when we raise the minimum wage by shrinking the amount of entry-level jobs. Let me put it this way. When I worked minimum wage at McDonald's in Janesville, it never occurred to me that this was going to be my only job. I remember one of our managers was a woman who just years before was working the front register and managed the whole store. She worked her way up. What you learn in an entry-level job are skills you need to get better jobs. And so we want to get more people into any job they can get into so they can learn the skills of working a job so they can make a better difference. Raising the minimum wage gets rid of those kinds of jobs. That gets people in the pipeline of upward mobility, in the pipeline of working their way up. And that's why I don't think it works. It's also an excuse not to do other things to grow the economy. Cut tax rates, balance the budget, have an energy policy, regulatory reform. So I see this as an excuse, not doing the things we need to do to grow the economy, and I think it will be counterproductive.
I've got just a few seconds left, though, but polling shows the American people support it. They want the wage raised. And isn't that a dangerous issue for you and other Republicans?
Politically, I suppose it is. But if I believe that this is counterproductive for the very people we're trying to hurt, to help, and we'll hurt them by doing this, but it's politically popular, what does that say about you as a moral person? That you'll do something that you think is counterproductive because it's politically popular. Leaders have to take positions that may not be popular sometimes if they think they're doing the right thing.